Hi, I'm Sam from Wolf and Wing, and this is a little video chatting about animism. So I have only really claimed this word for myself in the last year or so, but it is a word that describes something that I've always been. I've always kind of moved through the world in an animistic way, but not really understood that was what was going on. So I kind of, if you imagine little Sam, at age 5-ish, I went to a Church of England primary school, and my family aren't particularly religious, but I was brought up with the Bible and prayer and songs and things, and I have this really clear memory of saying to my mum, and I maybe was about 9, maybe a little bit younger, and I remember talking to her and saying, "Do you believe in God?" And she said, and like in a very my mum way, she's very balanced, she said, "I don't, but you can, if you do, that's cool, you can kind of believe, whatever you believe in is good." And I kind of went, I'm not sure that I believe in it really either. And then maybe around the age of 10 or 11, this is such like a 80s, 90s kids memory. I remember going to Penzance, which is a seaside town almost as far west as you can possibly get in England. It's like right down in the bottom of Cornwall, and we have family connections down there. And there was this new age shop, and it felt like home to me. Penzance felt like home to me in a really particular way. But there was something as well about this like new age shop that was just like my little ears pricked up. And so I guess I was being drawn towards a kind of new agey spirituality path. My grandmother bought me my first set of tarot cards, not long after that, I think. Maybe when I was about 11. I had this kind of image in my mind of a peak kind of witchiness happening when I was about 11. And I can't really remember why, but I went to a kids' Bible camp with my friend, and I ended up being exorcised. And I can't really remember the ins and outs of it, but what happened for me afterwards was that I felt like everything, I guess this is the point that I decided I was an atheist. I didn't want to do anything witchy, I didn't want to do anything new agey, I didn't want to do anything Christian either. I was just like, burn it all. I think I burnt my Bible and some of my witchy stuff and some of my new agey stuff all in one go, and I was just like, I'm done with this. This is not comfortable for me anymore. And so I felt like atheism was my only choice. My secondary school was secular, and although there were moments where the tarot cards would come out, and I got this amazing set of runes, which I made a special bag for, and I embroidered. It's so funny, I embroidered a spiral with a rainbow on it, which is funny because now I'm trained in a modality that uses a spiral and it's linked to the chakras and the kind of rainbow colours and stuff. But these things were there, but I didn't really know what to do with them, and I would put them down quite a lot again. And I then married an engineer and got a job in a nature conservation organisation where I was working mostly with scientists. So anything spiritual was out of the question in a way. My spiritual awakening kind of reignited itself through talking to my brother and him introducing me to Ramdas. And I remember listening to one of his talks and something starting to click. And I was also working with the fabulous Sam Goodlet, Birdsong, as a mentor, and we were having some chats about spirituality and stuff, and something just started to shift. And then I left the job in environmental education, left the engineer husband, moved back in with my parents and lived with my brother for a bit, and this sort of new agey spirituality thing started to come back. I trained as a spiral practitioner, which is a kind of bit of a mishmash. There's a bit of chakras in there, there's a bit of other stuff. It's quite sort of a bit of a melting pot of different spiritual approaches. And then through that, I met the fabulous Oda Sonyu, and I went through her Wake Your Witch course. And through that, I met Jessie Magic and the Wild Essence School of Magic, and started an apprenticeship as a priestess, witch person. What I found is I've been looking for people who see the world the same way that I do, and just coming up and not ever finding it. So it's like I had a sort of a time of being very animal rights focused, but that wasn't quite in line with how I saw the world. And so then I kind of moved into nature conservation, and still there were some things kind of missing. And then I sort of maybe thought maybe I was a Buddhist for a bit, then thought maybe I was kind of a pagan, but my spirituality is just not like any of those labels or any of those the kind of doctrines and practices and things that go with them. It's just not, it's like just, it's very slippery, and it's just kind of slipped away. And so I kind of boiled it down to all I really am is an animist, and I don't see mind and matter as separate, mind and body as separate, soul and matter as separate. And I'm kind of reading now and learning a bit more about how to find the words to describe that better. But it's the idea that everything in the world is soul filled, is mindful in some way. And I've just been feeling better and better about life and about everything as I've kind of found this word and explored it more thoroughly, and realised that I don't really need to have any other word for what I am, and I don't really need to have an organised religion, for want of a better word, to join. I'm just an animist, and that's what I am. And it feels so nice to have a word for it. It's really nourishing me in a big way, and as I let go of some of the kind of worldviews that don't fit with that, kind of this, like, the ideas around like Cartesianism and the mind-body split and all of the things that have been troubling me for a really long time, as I let those go and just connect more and more with my own way of moving through the world, it's so healing and so nourishing. And so yeah, I guess I just wanted to share that, really, because I wanted to sort of try and find words for this experience that I've been through, and this kind of reclaiming of that 11-year-old witchy Sam that's been happening. I guess my witchiness sits on top of my animism in a way. The animism is the root, and I don't have to do anything or be anything. I just then also really enjoy it and get a lot out of rituals and magical things from this grounding point. But it's not that, like, it's not that I'm saying at all that this is the best way. What I wanted to share was just the joy of finding the word for what I feel and how I view things. So I guess if you have that feeling of searching, you know, it's okay. Keep searching. There is probably a word, or there will be a group of people that you fit with, or there will be a kind of a word for your worldview that will feel like home. And when you find it, it is deliciously nourishing and amazing. And I think for me, I guess particularly because this is not about anything organized or even communal, it's really about diving deeper into how I see things. So I'm finding books really helpful. Jessie introduced me to the work of Emma Restall-Orr, who's a British animist, and I'm enjoying finding her and other authors and things to kind of really bottom out my beliefs and understand them a bit more and find words to be able to communicate what I see and feel. So yeah, if you're finding your path, you know, good on you. I know it's a weird thing to be trying to like to find the word for it, but I'm sure there is a word for you too, and may you find it.